Welcome back, everyone. We're diving headfirst into the AI world today, and things are moving fast.
That's for sure.
We're focusing on DeepSeek,
Oh, yeah, DeepSeek.
this Chinese lab that's making some serious waves.
Big waves.
They've built an AI model,
Right.
and it's not just keeping up with the big names like OpenAI and Google.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually beating them in some areas.
Yeah, and the thing is, they did it
And they did it so fast
so quickly.
and for way less money.
It's really unbelievable, actually. I mean, DeepSeek built this whole model for like $5.6 million.
That's it.
That's it. And OpenAI, they're spending something like $5 billion
Every year.
every single year.
It makes you wonder
Yeah.
if you really need all that cash to make a big splash in AI.
Right. Like maybe there's a smarter way to do it.
So DeepSeek, they found a shortcut or something?
Sort of, yeah. They use these NVIDIA H800 chips.
Okay.
They're not the most powerful, but they're a
Mhm.
lot easier to get.
So they got around it.
Exactly. They sidestepped those U.S. export restrictions that were supposed to slow China down.
Those restrictions on the really powerful chips.
Exactly. So DeepSeek turned a problem into an advantage.
Pretty clever.
And everyone's paying attention, investors, developers.
Yeah, they're like the underdog that came out swinging.
They really are. And the results are incredible. I mean, we're talking about top scores in like complex math,
Wow.
winning coding competition,
No way.
and even beating everyone at finding and fixing bugs in code.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not just brute force either. They've developed this model called DeepSeek R1.
Oh, one.
It's a reasoning model, so it's not just processing information.
Okay.
It's analyzing it, figuring things out, even coming up with creative solutions. OpenAI's got their own version, O1.
Oh, right.
But DeepSeek R1, it's giving it a real run for its money.
So this DeepSeek model,
Yeah,
it's cheap, it's fast, and it gets amazing results.
pretty much.
But here's the real kicker. They made it open source.
Yeah, this is huge. Basically, any developer anywhere can now use DeepSeek's model. They can mess with it, tweak it, build new things on top of it. It's the opposite of what companies like OpenAI are doing, keeping their models closed off.
Right.
This open source thing, it could really change everything.
The CEO of Perplexity AI
Arvind Srinivas.
said something interesting about this. He said, once open source catches up or gets better than closed source, all the developers, they'll switch over.
And he's right. Developers love open source. It's flexible, it's cheap, and everyone can work together. DeepSeek might just start a revolution here. Imagine if the best AI wasn't controlled by a few big companies anymore, but by everyone.
But hold on, this open source model coming from China,
Yeah.
that's got to raise some eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, especially with all the geopolitical stuff going on.
I mean, Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google,
Hmm?
he thought the U.S. was way ahead in AI.
Yeah, he did.
But now he's saying China has caught up.
And that changes everything. This isn't just about cool tech anymore. It's about global power, too.
And there's a lot we still don't know about DeepSeek themselves.
Hmm?
Like their founder, Liang Wenfeng. We don't know much about him.
It's kind of mysterious, isn't it? We're talking about this model, its impact, but there's this bigger story going on behind the scenes, and we're just starting to figure it out.
All right, so we've got a lot to unpack here. This super efficient and powerful model, their open source strategy, and all these global implications.
It's a lot.
Let's keep digging.
DeepSeek's story, it's not just about impressive tech.
Right.
It really makes you think about how AI is being developed.
Yeah.
I mean, if this small team can do all this
With basically no money.
with limited resources, what does that tell us about the big players, the ones spending billions?
It's like David and Goliath.
Totally.
Except David's weapon is way more powerful.
Yeah, and it really shows you don't always need huge budgets to make breakthroughs. You need ingenuity. Exactly. DeepSeek, they're inspiring a whole new wave of startups, smaller research groups.
Let's get into the AI game.
Exactly. More innovation, more competition.
So let's talk about the specific tasks that DeepSeek's model crushed.
Okay.
I mean, acing those math problems, the coding competitions.
Yeah.
That's not just speed, it's showing they really understand these complex concepts.
And you know what's really interesting?
What?
Their performance in bug fixing.
Oh, right.
It's like their model can not only write code,
Okay.
but also understand it,
Analyze it
find the mistakes.
and fix them
Yeah. That could completely change how we develop software.
faster.
More efficient, fewer errors. Think about what that means for industries that rely on complex software.
Like finance.
Healthcare, transportation.
It's like having like a super intelligent debugging team working 24/7.
Pretty much. But we can't ignore the geopolitical side of this either.
True.
DeepSeek's rise is happening at the same time as China's getting more and more powerful in AI.
And with DeepSeek's model being open source,
Yeah,
does that give China an advantage?
this is a good question.
I mean, what happens when a tool this powerful, something that could reshape whole industries,
Yeah.
becomes available to everyone, especially with how technology is tied to global power these days?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer. Open source, it's good for collaboration.
Transparency.
Rapid innovation. Anyone can contribute. But then there's the question of control.
Influence, the potential for misuse.
Exactly.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is. And this is where it gets even trickier.
Okay.
We can't just look at the tech itself.
Right.
We have to consider the bigger picture. The global competition for AI.
The ethical questions.
The possibility of both collaboration and conflict.
So it's like a high-stakes game
It really is.
with countries as the players.
All trying to win in AI?
And they're competing on multiple levels.
Absolutely. Building the most powerful models, fighting for talent and resources, figuring out the rules for responsible AI. It's a lot.
And right in the middle of it all, we've got DeepSeek
This little lab.
shaking things up.
Yeah, they went from nobody to major player practically overnight.
And their story's not finished yet?
Nope. Will their open source model really make AI more democratic and collaborative?
Or will it lead to new problems?
We don't know yet.
Let's get back to the model itself
Okay.
and break down what makes it so special. All right, so we've talked about how efficient DeepSeek is, their open source approach, and the geopolitical stuff.
It's a lot to take in.
But let's not forget about the technology itself.
Right, the model. Their model and what it can do.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, DeepSeek, R1, that reasoning model.
R1.
It's not just about doing calculations or recognizing patterns. It's like it actually understands things.
Really understood.
It can reason. We haven't really seen anything like it.
So what could we use this kind of AI reasoning for?
Oh, all sorts of things. Imagine AI helping us with really complex scientific problems, like developing new medicines or figuring out climate change,
Wow.
or even personalizing education so everyone gets a learning experience tailored just for them.
Like having a personal tutor.
Kinda, yeah. But like a super intelligent tutor.
So DeepSeek's story, it's not just about the tech itself.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about how we can use that tech to actually help people.
Exactly. Empowering people to solve problems, to create, to innovate.
But of course, there's always another side of the coin.
Of course, yeah. As AI gets more and more advanced, we have to be careful.
About the ethical side of things.
Exactly. How do we make sure AI is used responsibly? How do we stop bias from creeping in? We need to be talking about these things as a society. Like right now.
It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Right, exactly. Tech progress, it's not always a straight line to a perfect future. There will be bumps in the road.
Ethical challenges, unexpected consequences.
But the goal is to use AI to make things better for everyone, to build a more fair and just world.
And that's where you come in, right?
Yeah.
Our listeners.
Yeah. DeepSeek's open source model, it's out there, it's available. What are you going to do with it?
You can build something amazing with it,
Right.
maybe contribute to the model itself, make it even better.
Or maybe you'll just play around with it, see what it can do. DeepSeek has opened up a whole world of possibilities.
It's up to all of us to decide what we do next.
Exactly.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into DeepSeek. It's been a wild ride. This small lab with a big idea, shaking up a whole industry, the power of open source, giving everyone access to this incredible AI and all the ethical and societal questions we need to be thinking about.
Definitely a lot to think about.
DeepSeek's story, it shows us what human ingenuity can do. It reminds us that the future is not set in stone, and it invites us to join the conversation about where AI goes from here. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.